you folks. Welcome to Kelvin Vollrath's Fiddle Jubilee. My name is Walter Brennan, and I'm really delighted to be here with you today. Now sit back and enjoy some great music by Canada's fiddling sensation, Kelvin Vollrath, and his special guests as they gather virtually to entertain you. Now put your hands together and welcome Mr. Kelvin Vollrath. Take it away, Kelvin.
For you, Ken. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 6 of season 3 of my Fiddle Jubilee. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I got some wonderful guests on today's show, but let me tell you about that very first tune. I was teaching at the Emma Lake Fiddle Camp. It started in 1988. That was the first fiddle camp in Canada. Shortly thereafter, a fella from Quesnel, BC by the name of Ken McConnell came to the camp. Ken came every year. Pretty soon that camp, it started as a 1-week camp, 5 days or whatever it was, and then pretty soon it would go 2 weeks. Pretty soon it went 3 weeks, and pretty soon it went 4 weeks. We were there for a whole month. It was a great time of my life. And Ken McConnell from Quesnel, BC, I can remember when that camp was going for 4 weeks. Ken was there for every week, and most often he wanted to be in my class. A great guy, a wonderful photographer, and I haven't seen Ken in a long time. I hope you're doing well, Ken. But one year there at the fiddle camp, we were doing a composer's workshop, John Arcan, Gordon Stobie, and myself, and we came up with this jig tune in 6/8 time and called it Ken McConnell's First Change, to honor Ken for thanking him coming to the fiddle camp, help keeping that thing going for so long. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now it's time to bring up my first guest on today's show. And speaking of Emma Lake, I met this young man at the Emma Lake Fiddle Camp. He came as a student many, many years ago. In the early 90s, I believe. He might have been a teenager back in those years. I believe he came from around Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And he's now living in Calgary. And he spent many years over in Japan. And I haven't seen him much, but I see him posting videos on Facebook and YouTube, playing a whole bunch of Calvin tunes. And so I reached out to him and asked if he'd like to be a part of my Jubilee. His name is Jesse Hislop. And he's requested we play a tune that I wrote many years ago called La Rille de St. Paul. Everybody put your hands together for Jesse Hislop. Hey, right on, Jesse. Good fiddling. Nice to hear you fiddling again. And looking forward to getting together and playing in person with you someday soon. Big hand. Hey, another Emma Lake connection. And this is just all coincidental. I met this young man at Emma Lake years ago. He was in my class. His name is James Steele. He's a wonderful player. He's become a Canadian Grandmaster Fiddle Champion. I believe he won it in 2013, I think, when it was held in Saskatoon. A great player. Everybody put your hands together for Mr. James Steele as we play a tune that Brian Hebert, a great Canadian fiddle player from Pembroke, Ontario, he and I wrote this tune many years ago called Friendship. A nice waltz. James Steele. Hey, James, that was beautiful. Thank you so very kindly. I'm sure Bryony Bear be proud to hear that, hear the job that you did on that. Thank you. Back in October of last year, I released a new album called Dedications. And one of the new tunes on that album was a tune I wrote for a great man from Edmonton. His name, Gene Zwazdeski. Gene passed away in 2019, but he was a mover and a shaker. He was a musician, he was a dancer, he was a politician. And when I had the opportunity to play in Washington, D.C. back in 2006 for the Folklife Festival, we were playing there. This is right where the Capitol building is and right where the Smithsonian Institute is. Right on the National Mall, this big festival was going on. And we were there on July 4th, the big U.S. celebration for their birthday. And Gene was in the Canadian Embassy representing the Alberta government at the time. And he invited myself to come down and play on the roof of the embassy for a great big celebration party for the U.S. national birthday. So we played music up there and we watched the fireworks. It was absolutely amazing. As we looked down, it might have been Pennsylvania Avenue towards the Capitol building, we were watching Stevie Wonder. So it was a double bill, myself and Stevie Wonder playing. So thanks to Gene Zwazdeski, I've written this Ukrainian sounding tune in his honor called Compliments to Gene Zwazdeski. Thank you so very kindly. I hope you enjoyed that. You know, the Ukrainian music, when I was just a young boy, we used to listen to the Ukrainian Hour on CFCW. And that's the radio station, local radio station in Edmonton. And Dan Chomlak was the host of that. And then when he moved on or passed away, I'm not sure. Robert J. Tompkins took it over. And still today, that radio program is still on CFCW. And if we're driving down the highway and we turn on CFCW to listen to the Ukrainian music. So I've got I've got no Ukrainian blood in me, but lots of Ukrainian music from listening. Hey, this is osmosis. Thank you. As I look at my YouTube page, this tech stuff is all kind of beyond me, or it used to be beyond me, and I'm learning as we go along. And I see I have 1.94K subscribers on my YouTube channel, where you're watching this program here right now on YouTube. It costs you absolutely nothing. You don't get bombarded with emails or nothing. But if you click on that little button down there at the bottom that says subscribe, go click on that. And anytime I upload a new video or another show's coming out, you should get a notification. And they're putting all kinds of advertising on these YouTubes. And so it may help me out in the long run. So I'd really appreciate that. Find the subscribe button, hit the like button, make a comment. Just be wonderful if you do that for me. Thank you so kindly. Time to bring up my next guest. This is a young lady that comes from Nova Scotia. She's a wonderful, wonderful player. She's been on my show before, and her name is Amelia Parker. Everybody, please put your hands together for Amelia as we play the old tune called the Happy Acres Two-Step. Fiddling. I believe that's an old tune right there, made famous by Don Messer and everybody else, and we all played. Everybody plays the Happy Acres Two-Step. Thank you.
I grew up in the town of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. So that's a little town of about 30,000 people near Emma Lake. And my grandmother, Marjorie Hislop, she told me when I was about 10 or 11 years old, she said, you should go to that Emma Lake Fiddle Camp, Jess. She said, you would love it up there. You would love Calvin Vollrath and the way he plays that violin, she said. And so I went to the Emma Lake Fiddle Camp and I met Calvin and I saw him play. And from the very beginning, I was thunderstruck at how he could make that violin sound so beautifully. It was always something for me when I was young. It made a huge impact on me watching Calvin handle the fiddle the way he did and getting the tone that he did. So in the late 1980s, maybe 1989 or 1990, I went to the Emma Lake Fiddle Camp and I took a session there. I did a week of the camp and I was in John Kushnerik's class, who is a great fiddle player from Prince Albert. And but I was listening and watching Calvin play. And I bought a couple of cassettes that time after Calvin's shows. I bought New and Used was one of the albums, and then the other album was I bought the Red River Jig and other fiddle favorites, and I also bought Fiddlin' Again. I had a few. I had about 3 or 4, and I listened to those cassettes all the time, and I just loved them. And I still feel the same way about the music. I just love the tone that Calvin gets off of his instrument, and I love how he improvises. And in 1995, I went for a lesson with Calvin in Edmonton, Alberta, and that really changed the way I thought about music and about theory and about life too, to be honest with you. So Calvin has had a huge influence on me in my life, a positive influence on me in my life, and I'm really grateful to him for being the person that he is, and just grateful that I met Calvin. And Calvin, thank you so much. I love your music.
Time to bring back Jesse one more time, and he's requested that we play a tune called The Breakdown of August 27th, and there's a big long story behind this one. I'll see if I can make it short. The day was August 27th, maybe 1997. We were at my good buddy Randy Foster at his place in Ottawa, and he said, hey, can we do one of those live kitchen party albums in my kitchen? I'll invite a few people over here. We'll have a party. So that was it. We were going to record an album, a live house party album at Randy's. I believe it was my second one. The first one was called Live from Calvin's Kitchen. The second one was Live from Randy's Kitchen. That was this one. Anyways, it was August 27th. We were setting up that day, putting up a couple of microphones. It was live. There was no multi-recording. We had a DAT machine to record the music. Well, about 3 o'clock that afternoon, if the power didn't go out, it was so hot outside, and I guess everybody using air conditioners had blew the breaker. Something happened, and the power went out all across that area of Ottawa. And oh my goodness, what were we going to do? We were getting hungry, and Randy wanted to cook some supper, but we had to use his barbecue out back, which was an old barbecue. We hadn't used it in a while. And anyways, we went to go start up this barbecue. There was no propane. So he asked his neighbor to borrow some propane. So we got some propane from the neighbor, got it hooked up. Randy said, okay, well, let's put the burgers on. And he told Trent and I, you look after that. Randy had to go look for some gasoline so we could run a generator, I believe. He said, be careful, that's an old barbecue. Well, if and when Randy didn't leave there, Trent and I were out around the barbecue, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but that old barbecue fell over. It was so rusted, it fell over, and our burgers went all into the dirt. We picked them up, went into the house, washed them off. Randy come home. He called his neighbor back up and said, look, can I borrow your barbecue? It was a breakdown. The whole day was a breakdown. We wanted to get the party started. Everybody was coming over, but we had no power. We looked across the street, and we seen that somebody had power at their house over there. Or maybe it wasn't across the street. It was across Randy's backyard, across the fence. We seen they had power on that side of the road. So Randy went and knocked on their door and said, look, if we run some extension cords, we got a heavy-duty recording session going on. Can we run some extension cords? Well, they said, yeah, by all means. Randy ran a 200 feet of extension cord to power up our little recording machine, set up a few lights, and the party was on. I wrote a tune called it Breakdown of August 27. Big hand for Jesse Hislop. Woo! Big fun. What a great tune. And you can look for that album on my website. You can download that, calvinvollrath.com. It's wonderful. I got 4 kitchen party tapes out, and they were some of my biggest selling albums over the years. Now all digitized on my website. You can download immediately. You'll have all kinds of fun. They're long, and it's the real deal, that's for sure. Commercial time! Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show today. And if you are, I wonder if I can get you to purchase a ticket to the show. And the ticket can be any fee that you can afford. On my website, which you see right here, I've set up a few different pricing options for you. You can click on any one you want, or if you have a different fee that you want to pay, something less, something more, you have the option to do that as well on the website. Or up here you can see I have plenty of CDs and music books that I can mail to you, or also I have everything that is available to download immediately. All my albums are on my website. You're going to get all the credits. You're going to get who played on the album. You're going to get the stories of the tunes, and you can download those immediately. And the sheet music for all the music is all on my website. You can download that immediately as well. If you prefer, you can do an e-transfer, and all that information is right here. The e-transfer is for Canadians. Outside of Canada, we can't accept e-transfers. Thank you so kindly for everybody that has supported the Calvin Vollrath Fiddle Jubilee in the past. It is greatly appreciated, and I hope to see more of you supporting it in the future. Thank you so much. Time to bring up an old video here right now. And this was Pembroke, Ontario at the Fiddle Contest. Not at the Fiddle Contest, but the Fiddle Park, where lots of the videos get shot. What a great time. I spent many years in Pembroke judging that fiddle contest from I think 1992, right up until 2000 and maybe 18 was the last time I was there. On Sunday of every year, I would go to the Duhame tent and do a show there, an impromptu show. There'd be a few piano players and Trent Bruner or Paul Dacier or Malika Lemelin, Jermaine Leduc. On this video, I believe it's Paul Dacier that's playing the piano. Paul Lemelin is playing the mandolin, and Jacqueline Garrett is playing the guitar. And Yvonne Courier, the great Quebec fiddle player, is sitting right behind Jacqueline Garrett. And we hear a waltz that he wrote called Valse Giselle. Everybody played it. I never played that tune in my life, but I heard it all the time at fiddle contests. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, I should play Yvonne's Valse Giselle. Back in those days, if you could hear something, I could play it. And I just, off the cuff, pulled this tune out. Didn't tell anybody what I was going to play. I was hoping I could get through it because I had never played it before, but I had heard it so much I thought I could get through it. And I caught Yvonne by surprise, and a wonderful memory. Sadly, Yvonne passed away a few short years after that. Everybody loved Yvonne, and his music will live on. Here you go, an old video. That was pretty special. Thank you so very kindly. We got time to do one more tune in today's show. This is a tune. It's another Pembroke story. On the Sunday at Fiddle Park there in Pembroke, Ontario, after I would do my show at the Duhame tent, just right beside, I think it was called the LaMarche tent. And René Dacier started this jam session thing where fiddle players would sit in a circle, and he called it pure laine, which means like the weaving of wool. This was the weaving of music. And it would start with one fiddle player would have to play a tune in whatever key, and when that tune was finished, A, B, B section, the next fiddle player sitting beside that fiddle player would have to go into another tune, and nonstop, had to be on time, and it would go around. And if all of a sudden it would come to a fiddle player and that fiddler would repeat a tune that was already played, or they didn't start in time, they would stop and that fiddle player would be kicked out and the circle would be a little bit smaller. And this would go on and on and on until it come down to 2 fiddle players. Well, this was stressful. I entered this contest one time, and it was great. Rennie Dacier, he would dress up in his referee shirt, and he would go around, and you'd say, D! And the piano player would be there, and they'd be on D, and then the next fiddle player would go A, and lots of it was in French, so it would be Do, or Sol, or Mi, or whatever. It was absolutely wonderful, a great time. The contest still lives on today, this Pure Lane. I know the 1 year that I entered it, I won it. I couldn't believe it. It was the most stress I ever felt in my life, but it was fun stress. And Paul Dacier was here recording with me. I'm not even sure what year it was, maybe 2014 or 13 or whatever it was. He says, Calvin, can you write a tune for my dad? And I wrote this right on the spot. It's sitting here in this room. Here's my studio. And Paul and I played this tune, and we called it René Pure Lane, Le Real René Pure Lane Dacier, I believe. I hope you're going to enjoy this tune. Until next month, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon.
By golly, folks, well, that was a great show, Calvin. Reminded me of the good old days right there. Hey, friends and neighbors, do us a favor and click on that subscribe button on Calvin's YouTube channel, and then you'll get notified when the next episode gets released. Because I know you ain't going to want to miss any. And don't forget to tell all your friends about the show. Well, that's it for now, folks. Until next month, take care, stay safe, and have a good day. See you at the next Calvin Vollrath Fiddle Jubilee. Yee Haw!